Hi, you guys. Good morning. It is Friday, and I'm doing my very first YouTube Live. And as I understand it, this will be saved. So if you're watching it much later, and I've done a lot more YouTube Lives, you have stumbled upon my first. So I hope, first of all, that you're having a great day, whatever day it is that you're watching it. So I'm getting ready to film today. Today's Friday, the 26th, I believe, June 26th, 2020. And today I have a full packed day of filming. First, I'm doing a video just by myself, and it's about the 2 ways that you can go from renter to homeowner, get into your dream house. And that, just writing that content yesterday, that really got me thinking about, why is real estate so important to me? And it made me think about a story that I really want to share with you. And I wanted it to be off the cuff, just real and live. So that's why I wanted to do the YouTube Live today. So actually, if it's your first time watching, hi, I'm Kaitlin Endres, and I'm a realtor in the greater San Diego area. I have a real passion for helping people learn how to buy homes. I think that real estate can feel very unapproachable to a lot. And when you don't feel like you know how to do something, pretty much, if you're like anyone else, you just give up. And real estate is such a good investment. It's such a personal safety net. And especially as a woman in 2020, owning my own home by myself, I don't know of any more secure feeling financially that I can have other than that. And so that's the feeling that I want to share with people. And because I really believe that the barrier to that is information, I wanted to make this YouTube channel so that you have all the information that you need. Okay, so here's the story. So when I think about why is it that real estate is so important to me, I did not grow up moving house to house. I did not grow up in multiple states. I grew up in one home, in one bedroom, and that bedroom is still my bedroom when I go back home in Portland, Oregon. And this house, I mean, we didn't grow up with a lot. There were some circumstances that changed in my family when I was about like 13-ish. But we were like pretty much the American paycheck to paycheck middle class family. But my dad did one right thing, amongst others later. But what he did in 1979, I want to have that like thought bubble. I wish I could edit this and do it. But in 1979, he was 31 years old, and he had been riding the bus to work. And he had had some tough breaks. I mean, he wasn't living this rich, fancy lifestyle. He was a single guy holding down a steady job, not minimum wage, but not like a whole lot more. And he was riding the bus. He was an engineer at a hospital, it's called a biomedical electronic technician. He ended up building his way all the way up to be clinical engineer, one of the head engineers of the whole hospital. But that's a story for another day. But he has so epitomized the American dream for me. So here he is, 31 years old, riding the bus. Can you relate? And he keeps seeing the same guy. And they end up kind of making friends, casual, like, oh, hi, see you tomorrow, have a good day at work, whatever. And he ends up getting to know this guy. And the guy says, my dad's name is Bill Endres. And he says, Bill, I have to sell my house. My wife, she wants to move. You should buy it. And my dad was just happily renting, no real plans for how he was going to set up his life and structure it financially. And this guy said, Bill, you've got to buy my house. And he said this day after day after day after day. And so my dad he finally went and got pre-approved, or however it worked in the 70s, to get his home loan. And he said, he saw the guy and he said, how much do you want for the house? The guy said, $45,000. I think that's fair. There's no real estate agents involved whatsoever here. This is just basically a handshake deal. And my dad says, I wish I could, but I only got approved for $39,000. And my dad just gave up, because he's thinking, well, the price is 45. My dad doesn't really negotiate. He's a very fair man. He thinks if someone asks for something, then that's what they deserve. And that's something I really respect about him. So the guy says 45,000. My dad says, oh, forget it. I only got approved for 39. The guy says, sold. He had someone else who wanted to buy his house for more, but this guy wanted a man who wanted to start a family someday, which, by the way, he didn't end up starting a family for another 9 years, but he wanted to sell this house to a guy who would do something with it, wouldn't just let it sit or make it into a rental. So my dad bought it for $39,000 in 1979, and he held on to it. And he's done quite a few improvements. The house was built in 1904. by now, like he just had the pipes replaced. Those pipes were over 100 years old, but they were still working. Really, the bones are super good. But the question was that I asked myself, not like anybody's beating down my door saying, Kate, why is real estate so important? But why is real estate so important? My dad at 31 years old bought a house for 39,000. For him at the time, it was a stretch. He was working his job. He didn't have any frills that he was paying for, but he bought this house, right? So over time, 40 years, we're talking, the house is now worth well into the 600,000s, and there's been zoning changes. It's now zoned mixed, so you can put an inn, you can put a store on the bottom and apartments on top, you can build a fourplex. There's a lot of things that he could do on that land to make it even more valuable. The inn next door, there's like an Airbnb that they operate. That's $1 million property, and my dad is right next to it. His house is set up. It's really great. It has a side door, like to go into the basement if you want. Then there's the main floor, and then you could easily turn it into like up the steps to the top floor too. So that he could easily make this into a threeplex and then build another unit in the back that's a fourplex. It was just by chance. And when I think about as a family, our financial stability over my growing years, that house was it for us. He could take out home equity lines of credit, which he did. We needed a new hot water heater. That was thousands of dollars because there was damage too. Guess what? He had the money because he was able to leverage his home. Just a savings account, just a checking account, even just a 401k. That's how I bought my house, by the way, was I saved up in my 401k. And believe me, it took me 7 years to do it for my down payment. And there were weeks or months I was a single person, and I would look at my checking account and be like, okay, I have $50 for the week. That's groceries, that's gas, that's entertainment, $50. But you know what? As I lay my head down in my rental bedroom, I knew that I was building for something bigger. I was in my late 20s. Yeah, I wanted a fancy martini. Yeah, I wanted to get manicures and pedicures. But sitting now at 32 years old in a beautiful 5-bedroom house, yes, it's still a starter home. Yes, the kitchen could definitely use some improvements. But sitting in a house that my name is on the title is better than any expensive cocktail or any cosmetic procedure that I could have done. It's just made me think about real estate as it has to be a priority. And it also has to be the right time. And that's why I'm so excited today. One of the interviews I'm doing is with a very good friend of mine. We went to college together. She was my lab partner and so much more. We were so close and we still are. Well, she's 31 years old and she owns multiple houses and a fourplex. She got into real estate at the right time, and she is going to interview today talking about how to find the right property, how to be patient, and some of the qualities that it took for her to become, I don't want to say a real estate mogul, but to become a real estate investor as a single woman to start. Now she's married and she does it with her husband. But there's just so much opportunity for those who are willing to learn and who are willing to sacrifice even at a preliminary level. I didn't get down to $5 in my checking account. I wanted $50, and that was enough for me. I had my gym membership. I'd go work out, cook my own food. It was a good life because I was doing it for something more. So why is real estate so important to me? It's the way that my middle-class family was able to establish stability. And now it's still one of his biggest investments. I'm not going to talk about the other things that he did, but he ended up doing some other great things that provided financial stability for him. But it all started at 31 years old, choosing to buy that house, even though it was a little bit uncomfortable for him at first financially. So that's what fires me up. That's the reason I'm doing this YouTube channel and why I love it. I love selling real estate. I love helping buyers. But if I didn't have this YouTube channel, it wouldn't be a complete picture for me. So I know one person is watching right now. I'm hoping that more are watching later. This is my heart and I want to share it with you. So thank you for being here on the channel, sincerely. And I am here for you as you have questions and you need information about buying real estate. You can do it. You just have to invest your time in learning and choosing the right people to align with. So that's my message for today on the YouTube Live. And I so appreciate you being here. And I hope that whatever day it is, whether it's Friday, June 26th, or any other day, that you are having the most wonderful time and think about my stories. So best to you, and I sure hope to be connecting with you very soon.